So anyway, it hit me like ayahuasca. And I was in the car and I felt like I was gonna puke. And I didn't, because I was like, because I also read this morning this book about scanning your body for feelings in your body. And it's so weird because it's like the ayahuasca feeling, it was like this energy was stuck in my body and it was like making me nauseous. But cannabis doesn't do that to me. But it did. But it's like because the spirit of the plant leaving you, they stay. So you can have these episodes where you don't need to be doing ayahuasca every weekend because it's with you. And we had a disagreement with my husband this morning. and I felt that energy ayahuasca out of my body, if that makes sense. And it's interesting, the energy of disagreements, because you can be so attached to a disagreement. But really, what is it about? No marriage debates about who leaves too many dirty cups around the house, because nobody cares about that. So what do we argue about? Right. It's like an enchanted forest. I'm thinking about the energy of disagreements, you know? When you disagree, I'm training myself in like breathing out the disagreements. And I'll be like, I don't agree with you. And lose my mind, which I did in the past. With other poor men. God save them. You know? Cuidado, barro. It's funny, almost like a spoiled inner child, you know? Being like, I want that. You can't have everything you want. And I disagree with that. I want everything. I really do. It's not wrong. I mean, we had this debate the other day about my high sexual energy. And I'm like, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. I'm not gonna feel like that's wrong. Because it's my truth. It's funny, now that I think about it, Eva told me that about my brother once. And she's like, she wanted more sex and he was like, it was too much for him. He wanted his space or whatever. And she was like, why are you with me? Because this is how I am. And I thought, well, maybe she's too hungry. But now I understand. This is the way. This is the way. No te tropieces, ¿no? Just a cry. When we ride the wheel, you come and find me. In the crowd, be one of them. For me to send a message to Amel?
Yes.
When the student is ready, the master appears. So, you're gonna have to find your guru. I feel like he's gonna be intimidated by me talking to him like that. But anyway, you're gonna find your guru in a woman and be willing to look at yourself through that woman and not externalize your projections about yourself in this woman. To say it, you know, in an easy way. I would also ask you why you want to find love. Why? Are you missing love? Are you missing a piece of yourself? Why? I mean, why do you think there's something that you need to get, something that you need to add to your life? But love is giving, it's not taking. Taking is ego, it's not love. So if you want to take, you're not looking for love. You're looking for, I don't know, instant gratification. Love is giving. You need to tune into that energy of giving your love to someone, like you would give it to your child, like you would give it to your mother, like you give it to your brother, like you give it to anyone. It's the same love. And then you inhabit that energy, and then you attract that energy. And because you give, you receive. But you don't receive by taking. When you take, it's taken away from you. When you give, you receive. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Also, because I think you told me, well, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, because women are like this and whatever, and no one is anything. You know, everybody is what it is, but you create what you have inside of you, you know, your own emotional state. So like, you assuming that people will be like your fears makes no sense. You assuming every woman will be, I don't know, betraying you or whatever you are afraid of in a woman.
Love always ends in heartbreak.
Well, that's a narrative that is not even yours. Who told you that? People that didn't succeed in love. So don't listen to them. Why would you take advice from somebody that failed at what you're trying to achieve? You know, look at the good examples and look at people that succeed in love. And observe them and listen to them. Because whoever failed, they don't know what they're talking about. There's definitely a lot of creation from fear. I mean, a lot of men that complain about their wives being the jealous type and being controlling and being whatever. But they couldn't be with a woman that is not like that, because they will be controlling and they will be jealous. So it comes down to you and how you are and what you create from what you are. Really. You can see a lot of examples, like the best way to learn about relationships is to observe relationships. And first relationships that you see is the people that raised you, your parents, whoever raised you. And then, I don't know, for me it was my parents, my grandparents, my uncles and aunties, and observing their relationships and being like, I love that, I hate that. Like, you know, and like, why do they do that to each other, you know? The good and the bad. But it's funny because, like, well, Emmett said, you don't date a runner if you're not already running. And sure, everybody wants to date a person that's like completely fulfilled and is the finished product. But if we are not the finished product, we're not going to date that person, you know? You date yourself. You date yourself. When I arrive, will you come and find me? Mira estos círculos así. So cool, right? Círculos. Aliens. In the crowd, be one of them. Also, have you heard about we get the love we think we deserve? That's something to think about. Do you think that you deserve love? Do you think that you're worthy of love? Do you think that you deserve a woman that loves you and respects you and accepts you? Because that's important to figure out. And also, do you know who you are? Because if you don't know who you are, how are you going to know? How are you going to know what kind of person you want? Or if somebody aligns with you or what you're looking for? If you don't know yourself. You know, many people will tell you, I want to date someone that's like, I don't know, healthy and whatever. Well, are you healthy? Give it to yourself. Become the wife of your dreams. And then you'll attract that because you will have become it. And this is the shitty part about manifestation. To get something, you need to become it. Nobody likes that part. Muy fairy-esque, right? This, so cool. Finding someone is not the end of the work, it's the beginning of the work. So don't get frustrated when you find the woman of your dreams and you just feel triggered all the time. The power of love is the power of healing, and healing is looking at your fears, it's facing your fears. And someone that's your partner can help you do that. It's like what you said about conditional love, right? Selective love. It's like love is unconditional, otherwise it's not love. Like, can you provide unconditional love? Can you give unconditional love to someone, to yourself? And can you receive unconditional love? Or are parts of yourself that you're not ready to love yet, you know? Or to forgive. Cry, baby. Cry, baby, cry. Make your mother sigh. You're old enough to know better. So cry, baby, cry. Suffering in love? Well, the fear of suffering. You mean being afraid of suffering?
Being afraid of suffering because of the loss.
That's a good question. That's a big one. Everybody's afraid of suffering because, like, I mean, that's the thing when you fall in love. You feel this fear of, like, what if I lose the love? And it's important to note that you don't lose the love. The love is you. You can't lose love, and it's also, I mean, accepting, regardless of that being a relationship that's going to be a long relationship or a short relationship or summer love or whatever. You have to be committed to let go of that too, if it comes down to that, to just let go, because otherwise you're just attached, and when you become attached to this love, you have more chances of losing it. Because you're like, I need it, you know. It's like that energy of lacking, feeling like you're gonna lose something, creates loss, creates more fear. So it is a big thing, but it's good to talk about these fears, because at some point in a relationship, if you are committed, if you're both on the same page, if you want the same thing, then you just communicate and you just say what you want and what you need and what you're afraid of, and you can talk about it with the other person. If the other person can't talk about it, it's probably not the right person. You know, they're probably not willing to open up or to hold space for your weaknesses, which means they're only trying to take from you, to take the light in you without taking your darkness, and that's not an option. We are the whole package. So, you know, it's important to be able to talk about that. And if you're feeling fear, to just say it, to openly say you are afraid, and not to let that build up and then you just become controlling and you push them away and you drive them insane. But have a healthy relationship with your fear and act on it. Is this the path? Yeah. Don't let the fear take over. Does that answer your question? I mean, being afraid of fear creates more fear. That's what I mean by having a healthy relationship with your fear. It's like listening to your fear instead of panicking over it and be like, and letting it paralyze you. And just listen to it and be like, what am I really afraid of? You know, am I afraid of losing the person I'm with? Am I afraid of losing myself? That's a big one. Many people, especially women, are afraid of losing themselves in men. And then they can't deal with it because it's too much. But if you work through that fear, you can evolve and you can expand each other in that relationship. Daily practices, giving yourself, dating yourself, you know, being kind to yourself, being patient with yourself, telling yourself that you are complete and that you have everything, that you are worthy of love. You can do it in front of a mirror, you can do it with your eyes closed, you can talk to yourself, you can brainwash yourself, you can journal. My sister used to write post-its and put them all over her house at times, when you need to brainwash yourself the most, there are more fragile times, and there are times where you can be okay by just reading a book about self-love here and there. But yeah, a daily practice of like bringing awareness to yourself every time you think, I want a relationship, and just kind of identify that and what triggers it. Because when you listen to what triggers it, you'll know what's the issue. I mean, daily practices, I feel like the talking to yourself in the mirror is a powerful one. And I actually thought about it this morning. I haven't been doing it, but I thought about doing it this morning, and I'm like, that's powerful. Because you look at yourself and you send love to different parts of yourself, you know. You can reassure yourself by stating the things you like about yourself, and then sending love to the parts of yourself that you don't like. Because the more you hate them, the more you resist them, you have less awareness of it, and it's harder to change, harder to integrate those parts of yourself, and it's like you just reject them. It's like being sick. If you hate your disease, you get worse. If you accept it, you heal, because you get the message. Also, it's interesting to reflect, to think about like how do you feel about love? Like, what do you think love is? Do you think love is a relationship? Do you think that love is different than the love a mother has for their child? Yeah, just think about how do you feel about love? Because when I think about love, I don't think my relationship is about myself and us. For me, it's about the greater good. So it's interesting to think about love in a more, in a broader way, like including everyone. Because if you think about families and all the trauma that people inherit from their families and from families before their families. Oh, there's another path. If you think about families and the trauma that you got from your family, the trauma that everybody gets from their families, if you think about those families being like the nucleus of a creation, and then from that creation, every family is a creation. So if you think about your own ideal partner, you have to think about your ideal creation for the world. What would be the ideal partner that would allow you to be the ideal you, for you to be the ideal father, for that child to be the ideal child, for that adult then to be the ideal citizen of the future that you are trying to build. So you want to think about that, and not, oh, I want a wife, because that's very basic and you're missing the point. And you need to have that commitment to the world, because otherwise you're having a commitment to destroying the world, because it's just one or the other. So that is important to note. What are you creating? What family is that gonna bring? Like, when I got married, what was in my mind was like, this is the creation that allows me to be the better me, and allows him to be the better him, and allows us to be the best us, to create a family that's going to be what the world needs. So it's that what you want to be looking at, and not just satisfying your thirst, because it's never going to be satisfied without the lack of fulfillment. So if you want to feel fulfilled, I mean, it's not a question. You want to feel fulfilled, because otherwise it'll drain you. Any relationship will drain you, because there's no purpose behind it. There's no higher purpose. there's no common goal, there's no common vision for the future. And many people get married and they don't even ask themselves these questions. They don't even think about the future that they want to build. They don't even debate about, oh, do we want to have children or not? Some couples are together for like 10 years and then they're like, oh, I wanted to have children. Oh, well, I didn't. What the fuck is that? I mean, you need to talk. You need to communicate. You need to know yourself. You need to know what you want. You need to be open enough to understand what the other person wants. And you need to work together. And there might be no agreement. And if there is no agreement, if you don't want the same thing, then you don't want the same thing. Then you shouldn't be together. But you definitely need to know if you want the same thing or not. And not just find out too late after you have like children and you traumatize the fuck out of them because of your own shit that you didn't deal with. So there's a big responsibility in choosing a partner. And it's not just self-gratification. Oh, it smells so good, that tree. Ooh. Oh, but so interesting, right? For people to ask themselves these questions. It's so soft. It's so soft. So cool. Muy acolchadito. Whoa, it's like. Whoa. Whoa! Look at this. So cool. I've never seen this. It's just like, I don't know what's underneath, but it's very. Woo! I'll just use it as a mattress for our van. Still need to sort out the bed. Just take into consideration that first relationship is the one with yourself, and then everything that comes from there is a reflection of your own inner state. So taking responsibility for yourself and loving yourself is the way. And folks.